In January of 1996, Bill Clinton came back from a meeting at Hyde Park with Boris Yeltsin, and the Russian president. And he told me that he was very disturbed about it. He thought that Yeltsin might lose, and either communists or fascists, both of whom were running, might win. And he said, what should we do about it? Today's lunch alert is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. There's been a major development taking shape right now in Kazan, Russia, where the BRICS countries are meeting to plan their future strategy. Clinton had always been very sensitive to what was happening in Russia. After the election, when Clinton was elected, but before inauguration, he arranged a phone call with Nixon to talk about the Russia situation. And Nixon cautioned him, don't lose Russia. That's the key thing for you to do, in the same sense that in the 50s, he campaigned against Truman as saying, who lost China? So Clinton was very sensitive to that issue. So I suggested to him that he call Yeltsin on the hotline and ask him to hire my business partner, Dick Dresner, former business partner, who was bidding on the work in the Yeltsin campaign, was a pollster who did international consulting. And Clinton did, and Yeltsin decided to hire Dresner. And that meant that Dresner, who's now unfortunately deceased, gave me the polling data every week from Yeltsin. And I would share it with Clinton. And he would call Yeltsin and give him advice, very specific advice, what areas to go to, what industries needed subsidies and stuff like that. And it was very specific intervention. It had a lot to do with Yeltsin moving up in the polls. Then I got a phone call from an intermediary who I'd worked with over the years, who was a political consultant to a bunch of regimes in the Middle East, largely monarchies, and consulted with the Saudi monarchy. And he told me that the oil minister from Saudi Arabia wanted to meet with me. So he flew me to Geneva for the meeting. And at the meeting, the oil minister, the Russian oil minister, the Saudi oil minister, said, is there something we can do to help Yeltsin? And I told him of his financial problems, which were not just campaign money, but he hadn't paid the steel workers, the coal miners, or many other blue-collar workers for month after month after month, and they were not voting for him unless they were paid. He told me that Saudi Arabia had a debt payment due it from Russia of $500 million at the end of April. And he said that Saudi Arabia was prepared to waive that debt repayment so Yeltsin could use the half a billion dollars paying off workers, paying back wages, and getting himself generally right with his workforce. He told me the reason he was calling me to tell me this was that Clinton was in Japan at the moment and was headed to Moscow the next day. And they trusted me to give the information to Clinton because apparently the State Department was having second thoughts about even supporting Yeltsin in the first place. So I called Clinton and I said, I have a housewarming present for you to give Yeltsin when you see him, $500 million. And I explained, and he did give it to Yeltsin. Yeltsin got it and distributed wage hikes to everybody he could find in Russia. And those wage hikes were pivotal in helping him to win the election. I tell this story because we have a holier-than-thou attitude about foreign countries meddling in our elections. Well, we meddled like crazy in the Russian election of 1996. Thanks for watching. Today's lunch alert is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. There's been a major development taking shape right now in Kazan, Russia, where the BRICS countries are meeting to plan their future strategy. These BRICS countries that used to be Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, but now has been expanded to include a number of the Arab Emirates and a bunch of other countries, are meeting to develop a new global currency called the unit. And the unit would be pegged at 40% of the value of gold. This injects a very new factor in discussing what the future of gold is, because almost undoubtedly it's going to go up significantly once the unit becomes the unit of international trade for many countries. So call the Patriot Gold Group to get in on this. Thanks for watching. The Patriot Gold Group offers no fee for life IRAs to viewers of these videos. The IRA minimums are $25,000 and $100,000 for the no fee for life IRA. So call the Patriot Gold Group and ask for the no fee for life IRA.